Made Better Home.
Yeah, I made.
All right, guys, Made Better Home here. Today we're gonna be
Today we made better home.
digging around, picking off some shelves.
I made better home.
No, it's front facing, so I can get the angles.
Hi YouTube, I'm back. For those of you that didn't know I took a break and are just here to watch a laundry room makeover, skip to the next part. But for those of you that have been wondering where I am, what I've been up to, why the channel name change, head on over to Instagram and follow me at Made Better Home for all the juicy details. It's good to be back, and I'm really pumped that my first video after a 3-year hiatus is this sexy little laundry room behind me. If you like this video while you're watching, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you never miss an upload. I'm very excited to give this YouTube thing another go. Totally terrified as well, but any support that you can give me, whether you like, comment, watch my videos, it means the world to me. Thank you so, so much. Without further ado, watch how I make this laundry room better. This is some footage from the day we closed on the house. And if you've been following along on Instagram, you know I've been calling this makeover the sexy laundry room. But as you can see, when we first got the keys, it wasn't giving sexy. This should give you an idea of where it's located though. It has a little bathroom attached, which will be a future video, and is situated right off the kitchen with doors leading to the garage and the back deck. The plan is to demo, add new cabinetry, a fun little wall treatment with flooring of all things, adding vertical shiplap, and of course, drenching the entire room in black.
I'll slide it or left it.
We want to. What are the odds this one's another garage?
I'll be the door holder.
Yeah, I'll hold the door.
My fiance Mark and his 2 sons Camden and Cooper and their cousin Justice finished a round of golf and showed up at the new house just in time to help me start clearing out the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great right there. Thank you, boys. Yeah.
Welcome.
One thing I knew I needed to do differently with YouTube this time around is ask for help.
Yo, what's good? I'm Marcus.
So I've hired my incredibly talented nephew Marcus, and he literally does whatever I tell him to. So watch for him in the next few videos. Demo was pretty straightforward for the most part, other than the fact that our initial plan when we bought the house didn't include any demo, and it wasn't until we started pulling out one little thing that we realized we were headed for a full-blown renovation on the main floor. Oops. Let's go! Man, that's gotta feel good, huh? Yes! Okay, let's go! This sink cabinet from when the house was built in 1983 was a beast to remove, and Marcus and I were struggling to get it out on our own. Our awesome plumbers who were here helping with some other plumbing issues in the house were generous enough to lend their muscles to us at just the right time. What a little bitch. Gosh. Oh, yay! I was very excited at this point to have a blank slate to work with. I knew I wanted dark and moody, and I found images on Pinterest to match my vision, and then I got to work planning and prepping. First up, cabinets. Something I've been trying really hard to focus on with this house is thinking sustainability as often as I can. So I actually spend a lot of time on Facebook Marketplace scouring for things that I need versus just immediately buying them brand new. I was so stoked when I found this cabinet dude who was selling cabinets that were pulled from another project for minor mistakes like the wrong paint color or the customers had changed their minds. He happened to have several cabinets already made in the exact sizes I needed for multiple areas in the house, so I loaded up and bought pretty much everything he had available. I'm talking what would have normally been a $300 to $500 cabinet, I got for 60 bucks. And they were well made with real wood, soft close hinges, etc., and he was willing to deliver them for me. It was an amazing find. Marcus's dad, my sister's husband, and my brother-in-law, Alfer, who knows how to do literally everything, was kind enough to come over and handle a bunch of electrical fixes and changes throughout the house. So we got rid of the boob light and added 3 LED spotlights in the laundry room. I was originally just going to paint the room, but when I realized just how absolutely trashed the drywall was, it wasn't worth my time repairing it. So I decided to put up vertical shiplap. I killed all the areas that are near a water source or prone to moisture, and then I started putting up shiplap with my nail gun and the help of Mark's daughter-in-law, Taylor. Starting from one end of the room and working my way around, it went up really fast. When I got to the side where the new cabinetry was going, I realized I had to bring it in before I could complete the shiplap on this side. Oh, wait. Okay. Actually, Taylor, just slide it towards me. Fun fact, this cabinet is actually the laundry chute leading from our bedroom. Like charcoaly gray drawer cabinet.
3 drawers, right?
Yep. Once the cabinets were all in and secured to the walls, I finished off the rest of the room in the shiplap and trimmed out the ceiling all the way around. Links to everything I use in this laundry room makeover are, as always, listed in the description box below. At this point, I started prepping the room for paint by removing doors and drawers so I could get primer on the cabinetry first. Then I covered the floor. Bin primer is my go-to primer for everything, especially cabinets. This stuff adheres so well and ensures that whatever paint I put on top of it is not going anywhere. I did a light coat of the cabinet face frames with the bin spray paint, and then I rolled on a coat of the primer to the doors and drawer fronts so that they could dry while I prepped the rest of the room for painting. Let me back up just a tiny bit. While I was waiting for Home Depot to deliver more shiplap because I'd run out, I realized that this room was in desperate need of some natural light, so I got on Facebook Marketplace again to hunt down a door with a window in it. A door like this would cost me about $700 to $1,000 brand new, and most people on Facebook were selling theirs for about $500, which I was totally willing to pay, thinking that was a steal. But imagine my surprise when I found this one for $50 frickin' dollars, and in the exact weird measurements I needed. Total score. Installing it myself was a little bit tricky, but I managed just fine using some scrap wood to support the bottom while I screwed it in using the original hinges, which lined up perfectly, by the way. It's like it was always meant to be here. I love when that happens. The room definitely benefited from having more light, and I couldn't be happier. Okay, the moment I'd been most excited about had finally arrived. Painting the whole room black. Sherwin-Williams tricorn black to be exact. So pumped. I know what you're thinking. Black? In a laundry room? Won't it show all the lint and dust? Yes it will. I don't care. Because this room is right off the kitchen, I half wanted it to disappear in the background, and I also just wanted an all black room. If in a year I hate it, I can just paint it. It's just paint. Black. I used my handy dandy gray coat paint sprayer and painted the room over the course of a couple days with a couple coats. The paint formula I used was Valspar's cabinet and furniture paint from Lowe's, matched to Sherwin-Williams tricorn black, and I will probably never use another cabinet paint again after using this. It has a pristine finish to it and is so smooth and so forgiving. I've never used a paint quite like it, and I absolutely love it. I then cleaned up my mess and moved on to the wood wall treatment. Sourcing wood that worked with my vision actually ended up being so much trickier than I expected. Raw red oak was my initial plan, but after going to Home Depot, Lowe's, and several local lumber yards, I decided to pivot. Real oak would have been super pricey and so time consuming. Then I got the bright idea to use LVP flooring. It was much less expensive, much less time consuming, and was the exact color and finish I had in my head for this wall. Sold! I bought a few boxes and was on my way. I ran each board through the table saw 3 times. Twice to cut off each edge where the flooring has a tongue and a groove, and then once down the middle to get the size of board I wanted for this look. I grabbed some liquid nails specifically made for molding so it's tacky right away, and my pin nailer to hold the boards in place while the liquid nails dried. I used 1/8" tile spacers and started the first board with my laser level to ensure that it was plumb, and then I just repeated all of that until the wall was covered. These boards weren't quite long enough to reach the countertop, and in retrospect, I really wish that I had sourced longer flooring versus cutting the second pieces, because it created a seam across the whole thing that I wasn't loving and ultimately covered, which is a whole other regretful choice, but we'll get to that in a minute. Overall, I was pretty dang stoked to see the wall up, and while I definitely wanted a dark and moody laundry room, this wall brightened it up just enough and added a textural element that made me super happy. I moved on to cutting the countertop. I sourced this from IKEA because I've used this countertop in other remodels and they hold up shockingly well, and they're so inexpensive. I also really love the freedom to cut it to size myself. Super DIY friendly. Mark helped me lift and cut the width with my circular saw and the depth with my table saw, pretty straightforward. I dry fit the countertop and then cut the sink hole out and dry fit the sink as well. The next little project in the laundry room is this spot right here. It wasn't in the original plan, but I realized this corner was perfect for a little bench. We have a room in our basement that will eventually be remodeled into our home gym, but in another effort to think sustainability, I realized I could repurpose these solid oak cabinet shelves to make the bench. I cut down 4 of the shelves to size, glued the pairs together to create a thicker piece for both the top and the side piece of the bench, and then mitered the edge so that when it's put together, it will have a waterfall effect and look like one solid piece. I also cut a few pieces to use as cleats that will support the bench and attach it to the wall. I sanded down each piece and then did a wood bleaching process because this is red oak and I wanted the bench to have a white oak appearance. You can see here the 2 side by side, before sanding and then after sanding on the left. This wood bleach is actually really awesome and it's such a great option if you're looking to save some dollars. Red oak is significantly cheaper than white oak, and by bleaching the wood, I'm able to get out the pinky tones that appear in red oak and get that really nice white oak vibe. After attaching some cleats to the wall and cabinet, I glued and nailed the top and side piece together and then attached it to the cleats with wood glue and my nail gun. Here's a handy tip to get perfect mitered edges. Just rub a screwdriver's edge along the miter and bam! No need to wood fill. To cover the front and make it look like one thick, solid piece of oak, I ironed on some 2-inch oak edge banding, and then using my utility knife to cut off the excess, some putty for the seams, and my tiny baby sander to smooth out the edges. Then I stained and sealed the whole thing with the same product I'm planning to use to finish our wood floors in the living room. Voila! A little spot for us to sit and think about all our life's decisions, or put our shoes on. Cute. I sourced these cabinet pulls from Etsy and I'm really happy with their quality. The antique brass color, the knurled detail, and the weight of them make them really high-end, but their price was totally doable. I used my cabinet pull jig to ensure that they were all placed in the perfect spot on each drawer and door. I love how long these pulls are compared to the cabinets and how they add even more drama to the room. I also added some white oak PVC liner to each cabinet and drawer bottom. This stuff is waterproof, scratch-proof, and I buy it in bulk because I put it everywhere. I can't say enough good things about it. It protects my cabinets long-term, it's so easy to install, and it's such an easy, inexpensive upgrade. For me, it's details like this that make the difference in a finished room. Okay, this next part is a little bit of a bummer. There was a seam in the middle of the wood wall, as I mentioned before, and I really wish that I had sourced longer LVP or just left the seam alone, but I decided to build a small shelf to cover it, and it wasn't until it was totally done that I realized I hate it. I thought it was a brilliant solve, but I don't like it and I may change it down the road. What the heck am I going to put on this little shelf, you know? I didn't want this already bold room to feel busy, so adding little tchotchkes or something will just make it feel way too chaotic for me. Ugh, so lame. But here's some footage of the shelf build anyway. Blah, blah, blah. Can we just ignore this part? Feel free to give me your opinion in the comments below. Are you team shelf or team redo the whole wall? I replaced the outlets with matte black options, installed the sink and faucet, replaced the doorknobs with matte black square knobs that will be throughout the whole house, added a pretty little vibey light to the wall by the sink, moved the washer and dryer in from Costco, and decorated the walls. With that, my all black sexy laundry room was done. Remember what I started with? Well, here it is now. I know, it's an insane color choice for a laundry room, but I absolutely love it. And like I said, it's just paint. If I hate it, I can repaint. But for now, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I still have a few small projects planned for this room, and I'll be remodeling the attached bathroom very soon, so watch for those videos coming up. Thank you so much for watching and for all your support with my return to YouTube. If you want to see how the rest of our remodel goes, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you never miss an upload. See you next week. Bye!